There is nothing wrong with your radio.
Do not attempt to adjust the volume.
We are controlling the broadcast.
For the next hour we will control all that you hear.
You are about to experience the knowledge and insights of the Media Mothership.
All right, hey, you're listening to Edge Radio 99.3 FM. This is Dr. Craig, joined by B.A. Zeke.
Yo, I'm back.
And we're broadcasting out of Edge Radio Studios here in Nipaluna, Hobart, Tasmania. Media Mothership, as always, explores how media can shape our understanding of the world around us. And this week, your headphones are in such a...
Yeah, it doesn't really fit right. So.
Uncoordinated way. This week we're diving into some media news stories, as well as going over, really, I guess, a reaction against overproduced digital media content and the desire for more human content. As always, show notes are available on mediamothership.au. That's http://mediamothership.au, www.mediamothership.au. You can find all the latest show notes as well as some previous episodes. You can also go directly to the Edge Radio website, edgeradio.org.au. We're also streaming live on YouTube and Twitch, so you can see video versions of our reality, also on the live stream. You can also reach out to us via the chat in YouTube.
Reach out.
Reach out, engage with us, do some audience participation. You can also SMS us directly in the studio.
That's right.
What number is that?
0488 11707.
That's right, 0488 11707. Oh, I'm exhausted already.
That's all we have for you today, guys.
That's all we have. That's yeah. There you go. So let's move now on to the first story, Den of Geek, from last week, an article headlined Avengers, Dune, Odyssey, and the Rejection of Digital in the Streaming World. Basically, this article is kind of summarizing the impact of Christopher Nolan's latest film, The Odyssey, and saying that it's the success of that film, set in kind of the mythical age of Greece with the Trojan War and Odysseus's attempts to get home, is sparking a Hollywood realization that audiences are craving movies made the hard way. Movies made the hard way, with practical effects and real locations.
Made the hard way with AI. No.
Well, made the hard way because, yes, it lacks the easy way of AI. And part of, I guess, the appeal of the Odyssey and other films is the behind-the-scenes footage that they'd been pushing out with their promotion, which is all about the physical effects and real locations. You know, they're in their wooden boats in real ocean.
That's right. The horse is real.
It was real.
Trojan horse. There's a Cyclops that features prominently as well. That was apparently a big puppet.
The two versions. So there's some puppet as well as a real actor with forced perspective.
Yes, yeah.
And of course, the head looks like a Cyclops, but a weird Cyclops head. And it's really the what would be referred to as the paratext, right? So the text, the text is the film, Odyssey, but then fascinating to see all the paratext, that is the movie poster, and the YouTube shorts, which again, all these behind the scenes and the interviews with the actors themselves, emphasizing the real location experience of it.
Have you seen the meme? So obviously this happens every time that Christopher Nolan does a film, because he's obviously known for this, right? Known for doing practical effects. In Inception, right, they had a big rotating set piece or whatever, so they had to actually like move while it rotated. Like it was all
Yes.
done practical. So it's always done practical. In this, famously in the Odyssey, a soldier gets his head bitten off by the Cyclops. And so there's a meme of a person being there, like reading Christopher Nolan's script, and then being like, when you realise that he does everything practically, and they're like, bites off my head. Whoa.
That's true. There's a few of Odysseus's poor Trojan, Greek soldiers getting their heads bitten off by the other scene actually
That
gets
bit wasn't real though.
it wasn't
We
real.
have to stress that.
The transformation of his crew members by Circe's the witch, where she kind of transforms them into pigs. People, have been exclaiming how visceral, body horror like that sequence is. And that's
I can't believe he did that for real.
they were turned into pigs. So this is, of course, a shift away from the idea of digital slop, the shorthand term many people use to refer to AI-generated content, which is saturating our screens. So people are pointing to the Odyssey as well as the Backrooms horror film and the Obsession film, neither of which have a lot of CGI. I mean, I think Backrooms has quite a bit of CGI in their room location. But nevertheless, the idea of tactile in-camera filmmaking, which is hard, and part of the appeal of it is audiences, I guess, also enjoying that difficulty, seeing in that difficulty and overcoming it artwork, a sense of artwork, and a kind of skepticism of AI's kind of wish fulfillment, that movies making fantasies come real is easier with AI. But this is suggesting a kind of skepticism that the easy way is not the best way, and rather than just computer-generated visuals, seeing Matt Damon strapped to a mast, screaming out of misery, is showing that visible human effort needed for both acting and acting in a real location with real experiences, and probably that AI backlash, right? That anything that maybe has a whiff of AI to it these days is suspect, is seen as somehow that slop concern, that AI slop concern. Certainly, if you consider, I guess, the Mandalorian and Grogu Star Wars film, which had a huge CGI budget, failed to register much of an impact. Supergirl, right? These
that came and gone.
These big budget films. So it'll be interesting. The article points out that it'll be interesting with the end of year clash in cinema that we're heading towards, with Dune Part 3 on one hand, which has been filmed in real deserts. It's using another IMAX system, so this is the IMAX 65mm system, compared to Avengers Doomsday, right? Which has the vibe of being another big Marvel blue screen digital team up.
I think that it'll do well there. How well? Like what's their benchmark for, I suppose, doing better than Avengers Endgame?
Yes. Yeah. It would be interesting to see if there is any polarizing. If there is, again, that paratext of Dune 3 and the talent around that, emphasizing the physicality of it, the hard work of doing Dune.
It's even like, it's part 3, so if you've watched part 1 and 2, like, you're invested. You could argue that Avengers Doomsday obviously is the 20 millionth piece of the MCU, but also it's a increasingly falling apart puzzle piece, isn't it? Or puzzle, isn't it? Because lots of people are like, it's too complicated now. I don't know what's going on. I don't really care. Like they had the Kang thing with
Yes, cancelled.
Yeah, I can't remember his name, but he got cancelled, and they had to scrap all of the. No,
not Michael B.
He's
Jordan.
not cancelled.
He's not cancelled.
Jonathan Majors.
Jonathan Majors.
Yeah.
Yes.
And he was cancelled. So the Kang was meant to be the prominent villain. It was meant to be called the Kang Dynasty, and then
That's right. That was all
shipped away.
being set up in Loki.
Yep.
TV series.
And then they had to pivot. I will say that. I mean, they pivoted quite well. You can't, apart from the Ant-Man and the Wasp Quantumania, where they have the post-credit scene where you see all the Kangs, and now it makes no sense because they went at the end of it. They were like, we're going to do something, and then they're not going to do anything because they're not doing that anymore.
Well, I guess the big thing's been Comic-Con, where people were pointing to that, saying that the whole Doom as the new villain hasn't been set up to the Thanos level, simply because, yes, they were setting up Kang as the big bad, and that ran out, that was cancelled.
That was a funny thing. Like, I was watching some of those interviews and stuff, especially from Kevin Feige, and somebody did ask him that question. They were like, it feels like Doom has just been put in because, let's be honest, he sort of has. And because it was meant to be Kang before, but then his answer, and of course he would say this because, it's in the interest of the film, but he said like, Thanos wasn't really set up that much at all. Like he appeared a couple of times, he said a couple of things. He appeared on a video screen, like blah 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 blah. Nothing really happened. But I would argue those entire phases though did set up Infinity Stones. They did introduce Thanos. He was behind everything, right? The entire time. The first Avengers movie, he was behind that. Second one, well, he wasn't behind the second one, but the Infinity Stone was a big part of that as well. Whereas Doom, there's nothing really. Like everything, they'll retrofit it to act as though it did set up Doom, but it did set up Kang.
Look, because you had again the Loki 2 seasons. It is interesting that they're releasing the what was the big Avengers movie, Endgame? Yep. They're re-releasing that, but with new footage to link into the new Marvel.
It would just be like Robert Downey Jr., like his hand busting out of the grave or something.
They'll put his head on top of Avengers Doomsday. So again, if you had your chance to choose between a movie that looks perfect but feels, blue screened a little too much, a bit too much digitally manufactured, or one that was, really gritty and real and clearly had used some, or mainly real locations, but was rough around the edges, not perfect. Would you make a choice?
Well, I can answer this through the paradigm of Dune and Doomsday. I would rather watch Dune. I haven't actually watched the part 1 and 2 of Dune, but I would still rather watch Dune, even though I haven't watched the other two. And I'm sure if I watched those, I would much rather watch Dune Part 3 more than I do currently. But I'd rather watch that than Doomsday.
Yeah, look, I mean,
and I've watched all of the main Marvel stuff. Right, I've watched everything, but I've watched all the main Marvel stuff. And when I watched that trailer, the one that they released the other week for Doomsday, I didn't really care.
Well, I think you're tapping into something there, Zeke, with that digital fatigue people are pointing to. The sense that there's an overabundance of AI, CGI at the moment, and because it's now so heavily associated with the idea of slop, right? It's difficult for anything AI now not to inevitably be tarred with the brush of slop, of AI slop. It has, I think, made a contrast to that, the hard work, human effort film, particularly where that's the whole selling point behind the marketing strategy for it, appealing. Because it's giving an escape or a difference to the fatigue people have with busy digital environments, which are fantastic and fantastical, but I mean, and certainly I thoroughly enjoyed Odyssey. Mm-hmm. The 3 hours that it ran for went by really quickly. How did you find it? Did you?
I haven't watched it yet.
Oh, well, right.
I know about the Odyssey.
It's worth watching.
So obviously, it's the Odyssey itself exists separate.
It is one of those foundational texts, foundational stories. Many people say it's one of those early, of the stories we have amongst the earliest stories we have. And yeah, there's a fascinating debate that was raging leading up to it about representation. But that has all been swept away by the enormous success and popularity of it. So, worth watching. Well, again, if you're listening out there, 04888 11707.
Yeah, if you watch the Odyssey, let us know.
And equally, if you find this real form of engagement more satisfying.
Are you excited for Doomsday or Dune Part 3?
Dune Part 3.
Yeah.
Alrighty. Games Radar, 2 stories. First is headline, "You saved the entire industry," quote. The 13-year-old video of a Pokemon fan game now cited in the rejection of Nintendo patent is being celebrated by fans happy to see creative freedom win. Backed up by another article headlined, "The Japanese Patent Office has officially had enough of Nintendo, rejecting a patent attached to the Palweld lawsuit with rarely seen sass." So basically, this is talking about the story where Japan's patent office received a copyright claim, and it's linked to a video game that's been getting a lot of coverage called Palweld, which has some similar mechanics to Pokemon, right? Have you played Palweld? Do you know anything about Palweld?
No, Palweld is pretty crazy though. You can use like guns and stuff in it.
All right, but you've still got like your training. Monsters?
You have monsters and stuff, and you go around and you fight the monsters. But you yourself have like weapons that you can use against the monsters. Yeah,
so it's a little more adult.
It's been out for a while. It's been in early access, so now it's officially launching, I believe, as a non-early access game. I don't know if it was on like PS4, PlayStation, whatever they're up to, Xbox, whatever they're up to. But it was definitely on Steam on PC. Well, most of the criticism that I saw, which I also had when I saw it originally when it came out in early access, was that a lot of the models of the monsters just look like Pokemon, but they've been like sort of recolored or something, or they're ones that look like there's like a bunny rabbit that is a fire type, like a soccer inspired sort of one from the English region that they had recently. And Palworld had like basically just a carbon copy but green version that was like a soccer.
So there were always questions.
A grass type. So yeah.
So I do remember there were always questions being asked around, what's Nintendo going to do?
Yeah.
This because Nintendo is infamously litigious in terms of maintaining and protecting its IP, including Pokemon. So this is a fascinating little insight into their attempts to further control and patent, particularly the idea of training monsters. Right?
Yeah, that one's pretty ridiculous. They have some pretty ridiculous patents and stuff.
Well, this is the one they were trying to patent, but it was rejected based on the fact that 13 years ago, this fan created a proof of concept video called Pokemon Generations. So this fan was working on this proof of concept that, where's Pokemon going to go next? What does the future hold for Pokemon? And this fan created this really rough digital proof of idea that, this is where I'd take it if I was Nintendo. So what's interesting here is that the Japanese Patent Office cited this fan video from 13 years ago in its rejection of Nintendo's patent application. So the JPO, the Japanese Patent Office, argued that the fan game's mechanics, so showing basically that you could do an open world game cloned with Pokemon, proved that Nintendo's monster capturing patent, which they claimed was unique to them, and they used the phrase innovative step, right? The reason why they were trying to claim monster capturing is because only they could have visualized and foreseen and articulated monster capturing in this way. They've said, no, it's not innovative because 13 years ago, a fan said that that's the direction to go in. So it's not an innovative step that's happening now.
So what they were trying to do to patent specifically
Monster capturing,
but like in an open world setting?
Well, yeah. So I guess what this fan's video from 13 years ago is an open world setting. It's kind of basically got all the ingredients of Power World or Pokemon Go, any of those kind of open world. You're encountering and capturing monsters as, you know, a kind of inevitable, normal evolution of what this mechanic can do, right? It's not as if... I guess it's a bit like the Let's Play phenomena, where many video channels were doing Let's Plays with people doing videos. But then there was an attempt to copyright and patent the Let's Play phrase and idea as only pertaining to one channel's work. So similarly here, Nintendo's just trying to patent and control monster capturing as only its mechanic, only a mechanic that happens within Pokemon, and a mechanic that you know, monster capturing can exist in other spaces, but you can't use the phrase monster capturing. You can't do anything in terms of... So again, they're saying this monster capturing thing isn't unique. Even fans who don't work at Nintendo were seeing the connections. So again, you know, they've got a real sense of a underdog winning in this way, with this kind of rough, unofficial fan game showing that it's possible to do this. It's interesting legal logic here. The rejection hinged on this kind of non-obviousness of this monster capturing idea, that Nintendo was arguing it's not obvious that this monster capturing element in an open world setting would occur. It required Nintendo's genius to combine these two. And so part of the legal logic behind dismissing it was, no, it's not a unique creative insight to figure out monster capturing in open world would be fun. Nintendo doesn't proprietarily own the creative capacity to do monster capturing in open world. Anyone could do it, including a fan 13 years ago. So again, this has impacts on Power World. While this specific rejection doesn't end Nintendo's broader lawsuit against Power World, as you're saying, many of the character designs seem quite familiar.
Interesting, an update, because I saw this the other day, and because they're actually releasing the game now, right out of early access. They've actually changed a lot of the models now to look less similar.
Yes.
And that is probably to help their case in lawsuits.
One of my favorite games as a kid growing up was Battletech. And Battletech, it was, at the time I got into it in the late 80s, was a tabletop giant mecha kind of hex-based combat game. And I got really into it because I saw they had the robots from Robotech or Macross in it. The Zentradi kind of designed mecha, and the Veritech fighters that could transform into the F-14 Tomcat kind of thing. And that, it turned out, was just done illegally. They grabbed those designs in an age before, I guess, the dominance of the internet, and thought they'll get away with it. No, we'll figure it out. And of course, later on, it came to air.
It's like people when you go to a market and then they'll, for whatever, you know, pop culture thing that's there, or maybe even like clothing and stuff, like branded clothing, and then like they'll have, which you can obviously tell are knockoffs.
Yes.
Right, and they've just got it there, and they're just like, no one's going to know, because this is a market in the middle of wherever on a Saturday afternoon. Like, yeah.
Fans, I find, are actually the most strident at policing IPs. They'll quickly flag to the creators of content, hey, I've come across this piracy. you guys should police it.
Yeah.
So again, if you come across any media mothership piracy out there, if you hear Zeke's voice pop up
Tell us.
with AI, yeah, let us know. We'll
Actually, interesting. There was another point that so as you were saying before, Nintendo's very, very stringent on use of their IPs and stuff like that. So with a lot of fan games, they've been cracking down on them, like, you know, sending lawsuits and all that, even if they're not doing it for commercial gain or anything. And I did see a lot of commentary around this lawsuit or this patent being rejected, that this means now they're actually going to be even more stringent about it. And they're actually going to crack down on anything because they don't want stuff like this to come up and to void one of their patents. So this might actually be bad because it makes them even more hard.
I think, drat it, those crazy pesky fans got away with it.
I mean, they shouldn't, because they're doing like crazy stuff, like trying to patent monster catching as a concept and stuff. But it's kind of ridiculous. But I've seen a lot of commentary about that.
Yeah, very worrying. And again, part of what we were looking at last week was the impact this has on the games preservation world. If everything's basically locked behind copyright, it means, I think there was an article we were talking about last week where the US National Archive was trying to get copies of DRM removed, video game content, so they could preserve it, and it was knocked back legally from the court case where they were unable to access DRM or remove the DRM, which was, of course, the DRM, the digital rights management for so many games, make them unusable once certain systems start failing around them. Very, very worrying. Question for listeners: if a fan game made in a bedroom, I assume this 13-year-old Pokemon game was made by a fan in a bedroom, if that can stop $1 billion company from patenting a core game mechanic, does that mean the future of video games depends on the kindness of hobbyists? But I think what you're saying is it's the opposite. If anything, the future of video games from Nintendo's point of view means they must be more litigious and stop everyone before they can make this equivalent fan proof of concept idea.
Well, because there's stuff now, I know there's like a bunch of games they'll take concepts that already exist, or they'll create new concepts and then make more of them, like Mega Evolutions, and then they have like games where they make more Mega Evolutions. There's also other games where they come up with new ideas, like there's like one I remember that I have played that was like built around like a radioactive meltdown sort of thing that created sort of a radioactive type, so this was all fan game stuff. But you could imagine now in the future if Pokemon tries to make a game with a similar concept and they try and patent it, and then they say, well, there was this fan game that you let exist that did this concept, so you can't patent it. And they're going to be like, well, we're not going to let anyone do anything.
That's right, because I guess because basically this is a kind of, from Nintendo's point of view, a pirated fan game, right? So the video that you can see is some fan has used Nintendo's IP, so they've got Ash and Pokemon and the other Pokemons there, we've got Pikachu, but they've pirated that. I mean, I assume they hadn't been charging for it, but nevertheless, it's fascinating that they were using this pirated fan game, the Japanese patents office, to then bring as legal evidence against Nintendo's claims to get a patent on it. So, yeah, it's interesting. I mean, Nintendo would feel that they've crossed the line doing it. But again, the fan community themselves have all seen this as a huge win. Yeah. But they may have won the battle, but not the war. So let's see. Let's keep an eye on that. See what happens next.
Yeah.
Click on the Pokemon. Click on the enemy. And now any point.
Sorry, I had a video playing in the background of the fan.
That was
the
good.
fan's video.
That was good. You had to pull that up halfway through. So.
I did. In fact, let's play it. I feel like there we go. Last article, IGN, the global second-hand video game market is valued at $7.2 billion, right? So that's interesting. If you pop into EB Games or anything similar and you see those second-hand games in the shelves, that is currently valued at $7.2 billion, which is large.
physical game.
Yeah, physical games,
yeah.
physical second-hand games. But as IGN warns, Sony's decision to kill PlayStation discs, so that's their announcement no longer to produce physical discs of their games, threatens to destroy this second-hand video game market, say analysts. So this is in the fallout of Sony announcing recently that it's going to stop producing physical discs for new PlayStation games starting in January 2028. This will shift entirely now to digital-only releases of games. Analysts warn this decision threatens to destroy the $7.2 billion global second-hand game market and erase consumer ownership rights like trading, selling, or preserving games.
That's the thing I'd be the most concerned about as the first, rather than the second-hand market.
Because you can't sell any of your Steam. I mean, I guess people can kind of sell their Steam.
Yeah, I don't
in a shady way.
I think it's the same thing. I think you don't technically own any of the Steam games.
But still, I mean, you can't. I mean, once you've bought on Steam a game, it's not like you can sell that license you've got to someone else to play that game.
No, maybe you're allowed to like have the game independent.
You can do a family
Steam,
account,
but yeah, I don't think you can. You definitely can't transfer
like you would with a physical.
Well, I mean,
copy.
you can sell your Steam account, but
I think that's shady.
Yeah.
I don't think you're legally allowed to from Steam's.
Yeah, I don't think you can legally.
Yes, you're right. People have sold Steam
people
accounts.
do.
Yep.
Yeah.
But again, this problem is that if you had that equivalent Steam library physically as physical discs, no problem. You can take all those discs to EB Games or to a friend, trade them with them, give them to them, sell them to them.
It's interesting on Steam because I just thought about this. Soundtrack, or from what I know at least, soundtracks on Steam, because you can buy soundtracks on Steam. You can actually download those onto your computer and have the files.
MP3.
So you do have the files and you own them, and you can. And for instance, because that's what I do for some games, for my show, Save Point Sounds on Sunday, at 6 p.m.
When was that?
6 p.m.
6 p.m.
on a Sunday.
Every Sunday.
Yeah, so because I own those, so I download those files for the games that I own, for the ones I don't have, like say CDs or whatever else for, and I own those. But you can't do that with the games.
No. Look, and
you can download them, but like you don't then have the file to do with whatever you want. It's still linked to Steam.
It is an inconsistency, and it is an interesting question as to why they're not. Because, again, you could draw somewhat of an equivalent to, like, YouTube even, where you can download videos onto your mobile device to watch later, but you can't grab those downloads and watch them on any other app, right? They're locked to YouTube's app, right? You can't access them. So with this, as opposed to this experience of using Steam, getting the MP3, and they're much more owned by you in terms of their promiscuous content. You can promiscuously take to VLC to play. You don't need to play it in Steam's, does Steam have a music player within its engine?
Yes. Yeah, okay. You can also listen to them in Steam.
But they're not locked to
No, you can
Steam.
You can download them and listen to them on your own laptop as well. Yeah.
Yeah, it's an interesting point. And again, it is the concern people have of digital content and the challenge people have of having a backup of that, having duplicates of it. A lot of the digital rights management, it seems, from an industry perspective, is you can't copy it. You can't have a duplicate of it. You can't put it on a USB or something and trade it or give it to a friend. It is all about, I guess, trying to stop and prohibit piracy or loss of...
It's just like Flappy Bird.
Flappy Bird, which disappeared completely.
Yeah, you have to get a phone that already has it downloaded.
Yes, and that's an operating system issue, right? That, because it's no longer maintained and updated.
Yes, well, that's the thing. Yeah, if you don't, and if you were to then delete Flappy Bird from that phone, you would not be able to re-download it.
Right.
Because it's already downloaded. They can't retroactively just force it off of your phone.
Yeah. And it raises a really important question around how people feel about that, knowing that digital content can disappear due to losing the rights for the music soundtrack that was in the background of the video game, or the proprietary rights for the character that was in Mortal Kombat vs. Marvel or something. Marvel's
That's the thing.
rights
If you have the digital, if you have the physical copy of say a movie or even a video, like an old enough video game, then nothing can be changed, right? And it's not connected to the internet. There's no patch or update or whatever. Or if they get sued for some reason, or their license for that song runs out and they have to change it, they change it on your copy that you bought on Steam. But if you have the physical version that they can't access, it's still there.
Yes. And there are some fascinating examples where if you own the physical disc of a game, there are all these Easter eggs, these unpatched aspects to a game that are in there. In fact, there was last week I was talking about one example where, what was it? I forget which game it was, but basically a person was playing it on the physical disc of it, got to the end, and it came up with a letter from the game designer apologizing for how the game ended or something. And the guy posted on Reddit, "Hey, I didn't realize this got to the end of the game," and a letter comes up from the game designer. And everyone's going, "No, that doesn't exist." And it was only because he was the only person that had played it on the disc. Everyone else had been playing a patched copy that was digital that had removed that letter.
Yeah.
And it actually, no one believed him until the developer himself stepped in and said, no, he's right. It was something left in from the original beta of the game that was only on the physical discs. It got patched out from, the digital release. And so, you can have these amazing moments where the digital copy preserves something lost or improved upon or changed later. So, I mean, physical discs, they still have value. They still have within them interest. It's also interesting, the backlash. Of course, this PlayStation announcement has met with a backlash, and analysts are suggesting that Sony, however, isn't going to budge, even though there are these concerns about the second-hand industry and so forth. And they're not going to budge, analysts are saying, because digital sales are already huge, right? They're saying that digital sales are already accounting for nearly 80% of full game purchases on PlayStation consoles in 2025, which means only about 20% of gamers are buying discs anyway.
Yeah.
So the company believes the majority of its 120 million active users are actually fine with the change.
Yeah. Well, I mean, most of the games I play now are on Steam on a PC, and I do not buy physical games really at all. The last time I still have a PS4 with some games that I haven't played yet. I don't play a lot of games, so hence I haven't got to them yet. But those ones are probably the last ones that I bought, like, physically.
Well, here's a question for you, Zeke, and listeners out there on 0488811707 or on chat on YouTube.
On Twitch or YouTube.
YouTube. If you could only keep one form of media forever, right? So, again, one physical form of media. So, if everything was going digital and potentially being erased, would you keep physical books, vinyl records, or video game discs? If it was those three choices, would you feel books?
I reckon probably books, right? I don't know. I feel like that's the classic choice.
Yeah. It's almost that kind of desert island vibe, right? If you're stuck on a desert island, you have all this stuff on digital, but your Wi-Fi connection's going to go and your battery's going to die.
Yeah. Yeah, unless, the games, maybe you can play them without Wi-Fi, I guess, but...
Yeah, or the battery will die, right? You can't charge it, you're on it. Yeah. So, would you rather have a physical book, a record, or a video game disc, knowing it could be played? A book?
I think a book.
Yeah. I mean, I guess of those three, it's interesting. All of them have strongly migrated to digital, right? The Kindle for physical books, Spotify for music, and Steam for video game discs. Yeah, it's interesting, isn't it? That all three of those spaces have profoundly been disrupted by digital.
And all of them
versions.
specifically, like for, I mean, you can still buy music on like other places like Bandcamp and all these other ones. But like Spotify, obviously you own nothing. You're just streaming that.
Yeah,
If you have
your
a paid
library.
account, you don't have to have a paid account, but if you did, you're paying for not to own them, but just to stream them.
If you want to bequeath, I mean, the classic thing is if you want to give them to your family as inheritance, you can't.
Yes, exactly. Kindle, very similar, because I believe Amazon keeps ramping up. They change their ownership laws and stuff like that. So they're now at a point where they can just take your books away if they want, or they can change the covers on your Kindle, etc., etc. And there's a lot of people now going like, don't buy Kindles, buy whatever else instead, or how to, and I'm not saying you should, but how to jailbreak your Kindle so then they can't do that. If you have a Kindle already and a book library, because the thing, a lot of people bought those books and the ownership rights sort of were different at one time. Then Amazon changed them, and now they're like, well, I've already got a book library that I built up since maybe the first Kindle. What do I do now? They've changed it on me.
Yeah, and again, that vulnerability and backlash from fans. I mean, maybe the other way to come at this question would be cultural capital. Which one do you reckon in conversation people will be more impressed to hear that you have on your person and you have kind of an understanding of it? Would people be more impressed with the physical book that you're showing them and reading to them from, the vinyl record that you're bringing out and showing them, or the video game disc from the PlayStation 2 plastic
Probably the
clamp?
vinyl record.
It is, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking in terms of how other people would see you. It is still really cringy, I think.
Depends what the book is as well, but...
True. I mean, there was an interesting article. I couldn't get it because it was behind the paywall of the Mercury, that there's this Book of Shadows that was unearthed from the 1950s that somehow's ended up in Tasmania.
Right.
It's in the state library. They came across a copy of it. And again, you come across these books, and allegedly this book, the headline was something like... the book that's the origin for urban legends around witches and Wiccan and spellcraft and so forth.
Yeah.
And again, you hear that book, and they've got a photo of the state librarians with this like leather-bound book and yellowed pages, and they're looking at it, and I'm thinking, wow, that is a physical book.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah.
If there
Tons
was
of
ever
cultural
a physical
capital.
book.
Yeah.
That's the one.
Necronomicon kind of vibe.
Yeah.
So you're right. Yes. If the physical book was the Necronomicon, a lot of cultural capital there.
Yeah.
Vinyl, but video game discs. Is there an equivalent argument for a video game disc that if you had a collectible
if somebody
game disc?
was like a fan of video games and you pulled out maybe like the original Halo or something,
It's not really. You really need to be in that fandom to get it, right? Whereas I think an old book that's leather bound and that has a gold clasp on it with a little lock or something, tons of cultural capital.
Yeah.
Vinyl record.
Vinyl, same thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But a video game disc in the plastic clamshell with PS2, and you open it.
Well, that's the thing. I mean, video game packaging has never been great as well, has it? I mean, it was probably better years ago.
Blue case and the shiny disc. Last week we ran the story. There's a upswing in CD sales, and the leading demographic for that upswing in CD sales is youth. Is young consumers.
Yeah.
And they're buying it. The stat was that, what was it, like 50% of people, young people buying CDs these days. It's increasing for the first time. I think this year was the first time CD sales increased, and it was being driven by young consumers. But follow-up questions revealed that 50% of those young consumers did not own CD players. So they couldn't play the physical CD on anything. They were buying it as artifacts.
Not even like so they couldn't even like put it in their laptop.
I don't even know if they have, like so many laptops don't have.
Yeah, they don't have them anymore. You need to
CD
buy one.
Yeah.
And hook it in.
But they were buying it as an artifact, much like buying the LP for its.
It actually reminds me now, because I have been getting a lot of like videos and articles or whatever else that have been like, raging against the machine, I suppose, if you put it that way. About like taking back ownership rights and just people being like building like NAS servers or like those other cloud like the localized cloud systems and stuff that you can build
Home libraries.
and then and then just like everything that you own, or like buying things, you know, in the ways that you can, like with music, you can buy them on Bandcamp or whatever and get the actual files and you own them. And then putting those all on this server and basically creating their own like Netflix or Amazon Prime or whatever, and that they can then access and will not change ever. And it's stuff that they actually want, stuff that they own, and it's all on their own little server kind of thing. Yeah.
Well, let me know the IP address for your server.
I don't have one yet.
Well, the great thing in Edge Radio, I mean, it is one of the wonders of working in a brick and mortar environment like Edge Radio. We still have a bookshelf full of CDs.
Bookshelf full of CDs, particularly a lot of Tassie ones, which are probably very limited number in the world.
And while on our website it's very clear that we only accept digital copies, fascinating, we still get some CDs coming in.
Yes.
However, the labor and effort to rip them and put them into the system means they just sit there. Yeah. Which is why, sometimes we'll get USBs sent in.
It's just like at this time when you're an organisation or whatever, it's like, well, I'm going to have to turn this into a digital file to add it into the system. Can you just send me the digital file?
That's right. But it is nice. I mean, we've got some great CDs. We still have some CD players in the studio. They're breaking, and that is always the problem with physical media. Yeah. The physical components wear and tear after a while, sadly. But yeah. So again, if you are looking to submit to Edge Radio, go to edgeradio.org.au website, and there's clear instructions there.
Yeah, the music tab, I think.
Yeah, music coordinator Aaron would love it. We don't yet at this point, and we are wondering what to do with the physical media that we have in the studio, whether or not to
beyond the Tassie stuff, which we'll
donate or give
keep
away.
For archival purposes.
Yes.
So as we've been talking about here, keeping for archival purposes.
Yeah, look, and I do feel while we're a youth station, part of the appeal of having an analog setup with an old radio desk like this one, the Hawk 12 system, as well as CDs upstairs, a record player, even the archaic mini disc player, which is my bag.
Don't even I think it's just there to look pretty, isn't it?
There's a certain, and it's very pretty. There's a certain charm in engaging with this tactile media as we move increasingly to simply plugging stuff in digitally to play.
Yeah.
Well, that's pretty much the show. We'll save a commentary track that I was going to do for Star Wars for a future date. Glad
Maybe
I didn't
next
put
week.
that in the pro. In the meantime, thanks very much for listening, everyone. Media Mothership airs every Friday, every Thursday, 4 to 5 p.m.
It does.
And you can listen back to previous shows either via your podcast provider of choice.
Have you done because obviously you're in America the other week.
Yeah.
Have you done like did you do that last week?
I talked briefly about it.
Right.
I did do some audio recordings briefly over there, but they were mainly me fishing.
Yeah, okay.
So there's a lot of stream sounds.
Okay.
But I'll put together some audio captures, and hopefully we'll be able to get, again, this was for the Lit RPG convention over in Denver, Colorado. My hope is to grab some of them, and most importantly, I think more excitingly, PAX is around the corner.
Yes.
And I know I'm putting you on the spot.
We may be there.
Be there. I'm going to try and get a +1 from the benefactor, Lit RPG benefactor. But if not, we'll reach out because I know there's a small Lit RPG book panel happening at the con. But we will let you know if we're at PAX. We'll set up a meet and greet with all our fans.
Yeah. I mean, you sure?
Sure. Zeke's new music show. So, if you want to know more about Media Mothership, go chase us up on Instagram. That's Media Mothership. Or listen back to previous episodes on YouTube or a podcast provider of choice. Zeke, you're doing a new show every Sunday at...
That's right, every Sunday from 6 p.m.
Yep.
It's called Save Point Sounds. I go through one game each week, and I go through the soundtrack of that game. Give you a little bit, other than hearing the soundtrack itself, you also get a little bit of the facts behind how it was created, The composer, I feel like, you know, a lot of people playing games and maybe they know who the studio is and some of the people who are behind the studio, but people don't really think about the music itself a lot. And the people who do that, there are a bunch of different composers who are very prolific across the video game industry. And we've talked about some of them. One of them was Jesper Kyd, I think as he say his name. He's a Dutch composer. That was for Assassin's Creed, the first Assassin's Creed, which I did
Good
2 weeks ago.
You've done Tetris.
Done Tetris as well. Very interesting.
As well as the influences on that. You played the original.
Yeah, interestingly,
preceding music.
Yes, I do play for that one. I had the music from the Game Boy and the NES version because despite them coming out at a very similar time, they had different soundtracks. Yeah. And most people remember the Game Boy one because more people bought the Game Boy, and the Game Boy one's a little bit catchier.
Yes.
But they're all composed by the same guy, and they're all most of them are from pre-existing pieces. Like the main one from the Game Boy one is a Russian song called The Peddler, which is a folk song, which actually began as a poem.
Right.
And then became a song, and then they got rid of the poem part and just kept the song.
And then we had
for Tetris.
Yeah. Any hints what you're doing this Sunday?
Thinking maybe Donkey Kong.
Oh wow, yeah. Great. Yeah. Well, listen in this Sunday, Australian Eastern Standard Time, 6
p.m. Sunday.
6 p.m. Sunday. You can listen live on edgeradio.org.au. Thanks everyone for listening. Keep listening now to more great Edge Radio stuff. We have Kiz's Tapestry.
Tapestry.
It's on break, right? I think I saw an Instagram post.
Tapestry may be on break.
Maybe on break.
No, I think that was about Thursday Feels, not.
Oh, okay, right. So
because it's been replaced by Tapestry, 5:30 p.m.
I knew that. All right. Thanks again, Zeke.
Thank you.
Now that you're really asleep in sounds, remember, take the time to relax and really listen. Sunday mornings, 8 till 10 a.m. on your most special, independent community Edge Radio.